Okay, good to go. Oh, big bump. Okay, so when I was buying my bike, I tell you, there's some dealers that put me through hell. So when I bought it, I'm going to tell you guys straight up, I did not have a motorcycle license. I did not have a car license. But now that being said, you do not, in Ontario anyways, you do not need a license to put a vehicle under your name, only to buy the plates. Okay, so anyone can buy a vehicle. Now, you could be 13 and have a vehicle under your name. You don't need a license. Oh God. So let's talk about I think the worst one of all, Kingston Harley Davidson. They had a couple bikes I really liked. One was a Harley and one was a Honda BTX. So oh, that seems slick. So I called to talk to them, and they're good in that. And then I'm like, okay, so what do you need from me? Because I told them, you know, I don't have a license. I have a health card, birth certificate, firearm license, you know. And they're like, oh, we can't sell you a bike unless you have a passport. And I'm like, what? I'm paying cash for the bike. I said, I got cash. Certified check from the bank, money order, whatever you want. I'm paying for the bike. And they're like, nope, we don't accept any ID other than passport or motorcycle license. And I'm like, you're telling me you're not going to sell me a bike because I don't have a passport? And they're like, yep. So, you know, Harley Davidson right there chewed me the wrong fucking way. Oh, why am I going this way? My back. Okay. Like, give me a break. And this was after I talked to a Honda dealership. So Barrie Honda in Barrie, Ontario. They had a Honda BTX. It was blue. I love that bike. It had hard saddlebags. It actually had the front bat wing. It had the back touring pack that had the seat built into it. It was nice. So I called Barrie Honda. That was my first dealership I was talking to, actually. And I'm like, so I don't have a license and I want to buy this Honda that you have here. And he said, yeah, geez, you got a health card, or do you have any kind of ID? And I'm like, yeah, I got health card, birth certificate, gun license. And he's like, oh yeah, any of those you just mentioned I can take. I just need something to take to put it in your name. And I'm like, perfect. So, you know, right off the bat, when he told me that, and when I talked to Harley Davidson, it was like, but Honda says they would take any of these IDs. He put the bike in my name, but you refuse to do it with a passport. Okay, whatever. And I'm like, perfect. I'm like, can you, do you guys do deliveries? And they're like, yeah. I said, he said, where are you? I'm like, Belleville, Ontario. And he's like, $500. How does that sound? I'm like, yeah, okay, done. So I'm like, he said, oh, you can send out a deposit. I'm like, okay, perfect. So how does this work? How can I send you my information? And he's like, oh, you have to come up and sign the papers. And I'm like, huh? You can't deliver it to me and I sign the papers down here and pay for it? Or I said I can send a couple EMTs, cover the cost. I can send a bank draft, do like a bank transfer kind of thing. I can do anything, get you the money. And he's like, no, we're not set up for you to sign papers online. Which when I bought the Honda that I have now, I didn't sign anything online. And I'm like, okay, no way the driver can bring it down after. Like I told him, I'm like, I'll make sure the bike's paid for before you bring it down. I got Coster after me for a second. Maybe I'm hiding. Ambulance. I'll pay for it all before you even leave Barrie. It'll be paid for, and then you just come down. I'll send you pictures of my ID. You come down, and then whatever documents you need me to sign, I'll sign. He's like, no, our driver isn't licensed for you to sign contracts. And I'm like, what? So I gotta find my way to Barrie. And trust me, I looked, I checked, I wanted to find a way to Barrie. Got a better deal sitting in my driveway anyways, but I'm like, oh, that pissed me off so much. I'm like, okay. And then Barry Honda here in Belleville. Oh my God, they had a nice red one. The only thing I didn't like about it was the old owner that had it put a dent in the gas tank. And I asked him how much would it cost to fix, and Barry Honda or Belleville Honda said, I'll talk to my body guy. And the body guy's like, no, where the stuff's in the fuel tank, that's not fixable. You would have to go to a body shop and actually get it pulled out. And I'm like, okay. I was still interested. There was a nice red Honda, so I'm like, okay. And I had 2 days off, and this was my first day off. I'm like, when can I come and look at it? He's there. It's out back in one of the trailers. And I'm like, nah, okay, perfect. I said, I'm off today or tomorrow. And he said, tomorrow will work. I'll get the guys in service to pull it out today, and I'll give you a call tomorrow when it's all shining up and nice. 2 weeks have gone by, guys, and I haven't got that phone call yet. I'm still waiting for that phone call, Belleville Honda. What the hell? I was going to buy a bike from you, and you guys were too freaking lazy to pull a bike outside? Like, come on now. That is just, like, it was, or you just didn't give two shits about selling a $7,000 bike, I guess. I still got a better deal with the bike I got now. Much better condition. I know everything's done to it proper. Hell yeah. I haven't driven it yet, but you know, what I went through and what this company that I went through did for me, it was freaking amazing. It was my best experience at a dealership ever, I mean, hell yeah. But Belleville, I was like, oh, Belleville, I can go see it, start it, do everything to it. It's right here. Nope, didn't bother. And I'm like, oh, you know what? If you can't call me, I'm not chasing you down. Screw you, I'll make it work. So I contacted other dealerships, like that had some nice Honda VTXs. I got hooked on that bike once I started researching, and just, I'm hooked on the VTX. I love it. It just, So, I was seeing what the guy was doing running. So I talked to a couple other dealerships. There's, oh god, that was slippery. One in Quebec, and it had custom paint, and there's quite a few bikes in Quebec that were cheap that I really like. So I talked to the dealer in Quebec, and he's like, yeah, we're delivering it to you, $500, blah blah blah. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, I'll get back to you on it. It was a really nice bike. So I started looking into buying bikes in Quebec and how it transfers into Ontario. Don't do it, guys. Do not buy a bike in Quebec and bring it to Ontario. Quebec is one of the provinces that allows you to, if your bike's been considered salvage, like a write-off, you're allowed to put it back on the road in Quebec. But if your bike's been rode off here in Ontario, they won't let you. So if it has an R title in Quebec and you come to Ontario, it's garbage. Like, you can't do anything other than try to sell it and pawn it off on someone else, which couldn't do that. Screw somebody else out, right? So that kind of was like, yeah, I'm not buying a bike in Quebec. And I talked to a used bike dealer in Toronto or North York, somewhere in that area. Hopefully the camera's not dirty. And I'm like, I'm looking for a bike. Can you deliver it to Belleville if I buy one from you guys? And they're like, yeah, which one are you looking at? And I told him the year and the make and the model. And he's like, oh, no, we can't deliver it. I'm like, what? He's like, we only deliver the brand new bikes. I'm like, they did have brand new bikes, but it was like, you won't deliver a used bike if I pay you $500 to deliver it, but you deliver me a brand new bike if I pay you $500. What the hell's the difference? You're still getting $500, so, you know, I found the one. I talked to the people at the dealership that I'm at right now, and right from the start it was beautiful. It was just so easy, so simple. He replied right away, so helpful, highly recommend. Don't look at me like that, truck. I was on my side just because you can't take a freaking corner. Yeah. Yep, that's my story. And I know it's one Harley dealership, but you know, I gotta put this in the video because everyone seems to think I love Harley so much. Guys, if I had $50,000 right now to go out and buy any motorcycle I wanted, I'd buy an Indian over Harley any damn day, guys, any day. Indian 100% over Harley. Yep. I like the Indians. I love the look of the Indians. They're great bikes. And yeah, that's what I would do. I would not buy a Harley. Nothing about any Harleys. It's just, you know, I would buy an Indian. But I like my Honda, so I just have to say that. Yeah, I like Harleys too, but I just would rather have an Indian. Oh yeah, guys, have a great day. Make sure you stay tipsy, stay tripping, and stay redneck. Cheers, y'all.